Hey guys, casual face reveal. The reason I'm doing this is because really I didn't want to just play footage of the game I'm talking about for the entirety of this, so I decided, hey, let me try recording. And I'm also planning on starting another channel at some point soon where I'm gonna be talking about movies or stuff like that. I don't know when. I'm gonna start with Star Wars just because I love Star Wars and I kind of like the idea of documenting and putting my feelings about movies or games. It's kind of why I'm doing this, is I like to have this stuff out there for future generations, family, who knows. And I just like talking about stuff like that. So anyway, let's talk about games being killed off.
So I'm sure the question on everyone's minds, when do we get to play?
So also, I don't have my Zoom recorder, which I'm usually right here to record with. I have an onboard mic, so we will see how that sounds. If it's terrible, I will fix that for future videos. I know this channel focuses a lot on photo modes, which is what I want it to be about. That's really where my heart is when I play games. Photo modes, I've said before, will just make me play games no matter what. In fact, I got a Switch 2 and I've been using the photo mode on Mario Kart. I might not otherwise have played Mario Kart, maybe a little bit, but I'm definitely engaging with it more than I would. All that to say, this video is going to be a little bit different. I recently read this story that Anthem, if you recall that game, is going to be shutting down in 2026. And look, I know a lot of you still are going like, who gives a shit? This game was awful. But I think losing any form of art, be it book, painting, anything, is a net bad. I think having access to what people, human beings created is a good thing. We can look back on these, we can learn from them, we can learn from their mistakes, from their triumphs. These things matter. It kind of struck me, and it sort of is what's got me thinking about what I'm thinking about in making this video, is just the absolute loss of media in that way. And I don't know if I've really hammered it home before, but video games mean so much to me. I have been playing video games since I was a kid. Like, I remember sitting on my parents' bed playing Spider-Man Friend or Foe, or when mom wasn't home, my dad let me play GTA, Vice City, and
I didn't do fucking shit!
And I had no idea what I was doing, but I have such fond memories of that kind of stuff. And even today, I mean, I play games with my friends who live across the country. It's how I talk to them every night. And it really is the medium for me that has been the most compelling. It's the thing that sucked me into it the most. And, you know, I got a degree in film studies, but honestly, my heart is in video games. I get asked all the time about film related stuff, or like what I think about the Oscars and stuff. And I'm like, I honestly don't care. Like, my heart is in video games. So all that to say, the loss of video games to me is so profoundly sad. Even if it's a video game that I didn't care that much about, or a game that I didn't even play that much, or whatever. Just the fact that work went into something and then was lost is kind of crushing. And there's something so fundamentally sad about losing a digital form of art. You know, like, I understand that paintings may fade away over time. I don't want that to happen, but I can almost reconcile with that more. But we live in a digital age. Like, everything we do is digital. So the fact that we are losing a digital form of art, something that should be so easy to preserve, is so sad to me. Another interesting example that I thought about when writing for this video was the complete removal of the Willow TV series off of Disney+. If you recall, Willow was like a 80s fantasy film that I watched when I was growing up with Warwick Davis. They did a TV show revival, and I'm not going to stand here and say it was some masterpiece of a show or anything like that, but I did watch it because I liked Willow, and I had fun with the show. It's a little like corny, but so was Willow, so whatever. It was a good time. And then like a year or so later, they removed it, and there is no disc for this show. I mean, as far as I know, maybe the only way to watch it is somewhere online that's not like legal, but it is gone. And the actors were upset. I mean, I was upset just for the sake of it, and also to be like, well, you know, again, you can't access that anymore, which really has me getting a lot of physical media. Not so much in video games, because a lot of the time if a game gets shut down, in the case of Anthem, it doesn't even matter if you have a physical copy, it's just over. And that's the problem with these always online games is, you know, even if you have the physical disc, because the game requires online, there's nothing you can do about it. But I have been getting a lot more physical media in terms of movies, shows, stuff like that, because, you know, that's something that can't just be taken offline. You know, if you have something to play it, you can always come back to these types of things. So, you know, the importance of physical media, I think, is there, but with video games, it's a little bit more tough. So that's what has me thinking about this shutting down of Anthem. So as of January 2026, that game will completely be gone. You will not be able to play it. You won't be able to access a hub, anything. Like, it is gone for good. And even just saying that is so unnerving to me, because this is something that hundreds of people worked on, from story creators to artists to gameplay designers. And a note on the gameplay, Anthem, I'll just say it, has like the best flying mechanics I've ever seen in a game, for real. If any of you have played it, you probably know what I mean, but just the absolute momentum that you get from launching off of the ground, or one of my favorite things to do would be to just go off the cliff of something, nosedive, and get that momentum to where you can speed back up. Truthfully, I hope they just rip those mechanics out and put them in whatever this Iron Man game is going to be, because they feel so good. And again, just going back to it, all of this is lost. And while you can still experience other aspects of the game, thankfully, like, you know, you can always look back at the concept art or screenshots or the score, which, by the way, the Anthem soundtrack is amazing. I'll play a little bit for you here. This was done by Sarah Schachner. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but she did the composition for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. She did Assassin's Creed Origins. She did the movie Prey. All amazing scores. So I'm glad that we can still listen to that kind of medium of art. We won't lose every aspect of the game, but still there is so much that you'll just never be able to experience again. And on top of all this, it's really heartbreaking that there's work on Anthem that will never see the light of day. If you recall, they kind of were gonna try to do an Anthem 2.0. They had a skeleton crew. By the way, you should watch Skeleton Crew. It's amazing. Watch it! Yeah, they had this small team working on, you know, a sort of revamp of the game, and I saw some of the concept art that had like this pirate fortress, and it's fascinating to me because there are other games that have adapted and made their game playable even past when online servers went off. And I don't know why more studios don't prioritize this, just for the sake of preserving the art that was created. You know, one of the games that I've talked about before is Wayfinder, which was this like MMO style game, and they shifted. They made it available completely offline, and that game can be played in perpetuity. You can buy that game anytime, which you should. It's super good. And you can play it, and I love that. And more games should prioritize letting their games last well into the future. But this conversation isn't totally hopeless, and if you're watching this video, you probably know that. There's all kinds of people who cry out for physical media. You know, when collector editions comes out and they don't have a disc, people get pissed off. And there's even some stuff going around, like the Stop Killing Games petition, which is going around in the EU. And actually, I'll just read you their little website mission statement right now. Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they've sold to customers. An increasing number of video games are sold effectively as goods with no stated expiration date, but designed to be completely unplayable as soon as support ends. This practice is a form of planned obsolescence and is not only detrimental to customers, but makes preservation effectively impossible. Furthermore, the legality of this practice is largely untested in many countries. I mean, this is what it's all about, is these publishers put these things out, and if they're not an absolute smash Fortnite success, they might just pull the plug and be done. Or even if they are successful for a period of time, they might just wipe it off the face of the planet because, we don't care to put in the effort to keep it around any longer. And I understand online servers being shut down. I wish it weren't the case, but I do understand that that costs money, rights may change, there's stuff like that. But games in their raw essence should be preserved as much as we can. You know, things like this petition have me feeling a little bit happy about just the general public's perception of losing art like this, and the outcry that comes with it. It gives me a little bit of hope that maybe we could see some change. You know, and there are studios that haven't done this, and I'm really proud of those studios that have kept their games alive. Things like Wayfinder, and there's more examples, I'm sure. But anyway, if you didn't know anything about this before this video, I'm glad I could provide some of it. If you have any feedback on the video or the audio quality, please let me know. I'll probably know watching, but let me know anyway. And let me know too, what media, have you lost anything? You know, my example earlier was the Willow TV show. I feel like that just like vanished from my hands. Is there anything like that? Is there something you missed? Something that was completely wiped out that you wish were still around? Let me know in the comments, and yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.